even if I did not.
Plagued by monsters, haunted by ghosts, and sighing in agony over forbidden and tragic relationships is the one and only arguably superior genre of dark fantasy. These characters are finding love in a hopeless place, battling inner and outer demons, and set in the bleakest, grimmest, most beautiful, and terrifying settings of all time. Grishaverses, Hellmelts, the source of all evils, purgatory, and more await past this intro. Welcome to CNext. Today, we're ranking the top 20 best dark fantasy series of all time. Get your popcorn ready, set, and let's go. Number 20, Locke Key.
These keys are dangerous. We don't know what they unlock.
Following the iconic plotline of A House of Horrors, the three Locke siblings and their mother moved into Key House, their ancestral home, after their father's mysterious murder. Locke and Key is based on the comic book series by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. The name Key House soon makes a lot more sense when the children stumble upon a cursed secret. A plethora of strange keys strewn throughout the house that can be used to unlock magical doors. But they don't enter a Narnia-like world of fantasy yet. Instead, they become haunted by a demonic entity that wants the same keys for itself.
Bodhi?
Number 19, Interview with the Vampire.
I was not yet ready to hunt, but desperate to feed. It's best to let the food come to you.
It's 2022, and the vampire Louis de Pointe-du-Lac has relocated to Dubai, years after the events we're familiar with from the original movie starring Brad Pitt. In the TV series, we have Louis relay his story to Daniel Malloy, a renowned journalist, taking us back to 20th century New Orleans. The story follows Louis and his complicated, often toxic relationship with Lestat de Lioncourt and the thankfully slightly older fledgling vampire Claudia.
So, how long have you been dead?
Number 18, Shadow and Bone.
The whole world will be after you.
The prize is 1 million Kruger.
Bring me Alina Starkov.
No mourners, no funerals, and a heist begins. It was a crime that this show got cancelled. Shadow and Bone starts with Alina Starkov, who's a cartographer of the Ravka's first army, when she discovers that she is a Grisha. Now, she has to harness this power that her world is terrified of, and that makes her target. The show does an award-winning job of linking Lee Barduga's Grishaverse, Shadow and Bone, with Six of Crows. Freddie Carter, Amita Suman, Kit Young, and Jack Wolf are exactly what the book fans pictured for the Crows, especially Kaz and Inej. In summary, Prince Caspian's as a villain, heists, enemies to lovers, crime partners to lovers, magic, it's all here in this dark verse.
Good girl. Now the work begins.
Number 17, The Magicians.
It is here that our story begins. A land of magic.
Welcome to the Brakebills College for Magical Pedagogy. Quentin Coldwater has always been fascinated by this Harry Potter-esque world of magic and fantasy. Now in his 20s, he and his friends discover that everything is not what it seems. It's also infinitely more dangerous than he previously thought. This series is based on the novels written by Lev Grossman. The Magicians succeeded in flipping a lot of the overused tropes of the fantasy genre and offers a myriad of engrossing plotlines. It's also a roller coaster of emotions, despite it often straying from its source material.
You're powerful, or you're weak. If you're powerful, you will survive.
Number 16, Dead Boy Detectives.
You are my best mate. I wouldn't want to be dead with anyone else.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean you should give up on your dreams of helping other people. It also helps when you're hiding from the Grim Reaper to avoid being sent to the afterlife you're assigned to. Edwin Payne, who died in a botched demon summoning, knows he's unfairly assigned to hell. Decades ago, he joined forces with another ghost, Charles Rowland, to cut the ribbon on the Dead Boy Detective Agency. Together, they solve mysteries, help ghosts move on, and slay one or two monsters. Their latest job brings them to Crystal, a clairvoyant possessed by a demon ex-boyfriend. Reluctantly on their part, they allow Crystal, who lost all her memories, to join them.
Nico, that was amazing.
Thank you. Oh, did you guys know zombies are real?
Number 15, True Blood.
I am your friend, so you just invite me in.
There was just something in that early 2000s water where, rightfully so, vampires were the craze. True Blood's steamy posters of Sookie, Bill, and Eric. This series takes place in a world where vampires are out in the open. True Blood is the name of a synthetic product they can have in lieu of real blood. Sookie Stackhouse in her small town in Louisiana has always been an outcast. You could blame it on her telepathic abilities. When she falls in love with Bill Compton, a 174-year-old, mainly tortured vampire, a chain of empire-changing events starts like a row of dominoes. Because you just don't have vampires versus humans, you have religious organizations, vampire politics, fanatics, murder mysteries, and more gory, steamy, and PG-rated plotlines than your average Twilight-like series.
No, don't. He's one of them. He'll kill us all.
Number 14, Preacher.
What do you want, kid?
It's about my dad.
No amount of money bought a second of time, but this couldn't be farther from what Dominic's Howard Stark was like. Jesse Custer is an outlaw turned preacher. Following his dead father's wishes, Jesse goes back home to West Texas to take over his father's church. This piece doesn't last long as a hellish power is unleashed. Based on the dark comedy comic books in the 1990s, Preacher is a wild ride of preachers, vagabond vampires, and other creatures of the night. This neo-western battles both hell, Nazis, revenge, and demonic possession. But Jesse isn't alone. He's joined by his ex-girlfriend Tulip and the vampire Cassidy. Can this preacher find God in a world that can otherwise only be described as hellish?
Preacher! Enough.
Almost done, Sheriff.
Number 13, The Vampire Diaries.
I'm Elena.
I'm Stefan.
His name is Stefan Salvatore.
Other than The Avengers, Sherlock, and Doctor Who, The Vampire Diaries is one of those shows that you know is so memorable, with a fandom that still writes fanfiction about it years after it's ended. Just AO3 alone has nearly 20,000 works on this. Mystic Falls might as well be a gate to hell. Superficially, it all starts with Elena Gilbert, who almost drowns with her parents one night, is unknowingly saved by 160-year-old vampire Stefan Salvatore, who drags all sorts of drama to Mystic Falls with him, mainly his revenge-bent brother Damon. Elena's not your average teenager. She's a doppelganger from the Petrova line, fated to die in a sacrifice to break a curse placed on one of the world's first vampires. If Twilight lit a fire for vampiric love triangles, then The Vampire Diaries picked up that steam with a multi-season love triangle between Elena and the Salvatore brothers.
She'll try to break you. She'll try to break us.
Number 12, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I can't do this.
You must.
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina had a lot to live up to after the original series, but Kiernan Shipka took on that role like a second skin. This dark fantasy horror is an ultimate coming-of-age story. Sabrina Spellman wants to have the best of both worlds, to live her human life with her wonderful friends, Rosalind and Theo, and with her boyfriend Harvey. However, her half-witch side comes calling. As every teenager with the Church of Night is bound to do, Sabrina must sign her name in the Book of the Damned, forever cementing her fate as one of the devil's followers and to forsake her human life, but she can't quite let go.
What is it you want from me?
Number 11, Grimm.
Detective, what are you looking at? Come on, Nick, we have a call.
It's a supernatural, dark, demon-filled world meets police procedural drama. Grimm takes us to Portland and to Detective Nick Burkhart, the latest in a long line of warriors, the Grimms. The biggest threat to his city? Wesson, a race of half-human and half-animals. But Nick isn't working alone. He has his partner Hank, Sergeant Wu, and his friends Monroe and Rosalie. When we say that Grimm sucks you in, we mean its 6 seasons will fly by. David Ginantoli carries the burden of being a Grimm, with equal parts power and vulnerability, with mastery as Nick is just learning about how dangerous this world is.
We have the ability to see what no one else can. You are one of the last Grimms.
Number 10, The Sandman.
Put the gun in his hands! Open your hands, now!
The Sandman is based on the comic book written by Neil Gaiman. Does more need to be said? You'll feel the real Morpheus's pull when you dive into this series. The Sandman, played by Tom Sturridge, also known as Dream, has been trapped, or to put it more accurately, has been held prisoner for over a century. Chaos has reigned while he's been gone. Now, he has to traverse a canonic multiverse to clean up that mess. That scene with Lucifer, who's played by the fantastic Gwendolyn Christie, which we won't spoil because it's something that needs to be experienced in full, spoiler-free, is chef's kiss. Each episode of this series tops the last, with a final overwhelming crescendo at the end. If you're a fan of the comics, if you've never read the comics, this is the show for you.
My creations do not walk amongst the living, killing mortals for pleasure.
Number 9, Teen Wolf.
Look at them! You see what they do? The only way to fight them is together. What is this? What are they doing? Declaring war.
A story as old as time. Two awkward teenage boys sneak into the woods when there's a police investigation into a severed body found there. Only half. Little do Scott McCall and Stiles Stilinski know that finding the second half of what turns out to be a werewolf's body will set up a chain of events that will forever transform their lives. Because in those woods, Scott gets bitten by a werewolf that night. Now, he has to learn how to navigate life as a supernatural creature that gets filled with homicidal, unadulterated rage every full moon. And he can't find the alpha that turned him, even as the alpha goes on killing sprees in their sleepy town of Beacon Hills. To make matters worse, Scott finds himself falling in love with the newest girl in school, Allison Argent, the daughter of werewolf hunters. A little maiming, okay, a little mangling ensues.
How do I stop them? Don't stop them. Lead them.
Number 8, Wednesday.
Hey, freak. This is a close practice.
The only person who gets to torture my brother is me.
Who else was on the fence about a show centered around Wednesday Addams starring Jenna Ortega? Especially when the full cast was revealed, featuring Louise Guzman and Catherine Zeta-Jones as Gomez and Morticia Addams. Despite this casting choice being the most accurate to the comics. It took approximately 0.2 seconds to fall in love with this show and realize that it's one of the greatest. After an incident at her old school, Wednesday is enrolled at Nevermore Academy, Morticia's old school. There she makes friends, accidentally stumbles upon a murder mystery that she's determined to solve, and unwittingly gets caught up in a love triangle. Among millions of factors, Ortega's impossible feat of blinking exactly 3 times throughout 8 episodes, her dead eyes, and her black cat versus golden retriever relationship with Enid won everyone over. Did this live up to the legacy the Addams family left behind?
I won't stop until I find the truth.
Number 7, The Originals.
Jane Ann Devereaux. You can't do magic in this town without getting caught.
It's rare that a sequel is so magnetic that a third sequel, aka a sequel to the sequel, is equally successful. It's also rare that a villain is so beloved that his entire family gains their spin-off. Step into the tyrannical ruled New Orleans, a century after the original family of vampires were run off of it. Who was once Claus's protege is the city's new ruler, and Marcel Gerard is now willing to hand over the reins. The Vampire Diaries Season 4 finale had one of Catherine Pierce's most iconic mic drops in the form of announcing that Claus's one-night stand, Haley Marshall, is now pregnant with an impossible child. You can say what you want to say about the McHalesons, but when push comes to shove, these siblings rally more than the Kardashians, even if it's against old proteges, their parents, scheming witches, and ancient evils. And watching it is glorious.
Niklaus, listen.
Number 6, The Witcher.
You sure about this?
Are you?
One of the world's first encounters with Henry Cavill's famous Witcher series, based on the video game, was Cavill relaying how he got in shape for his monster-slaying role. In this wild world, Witcher Geralt is a tortured monster hunter, a mutated one. Cavill was born to play this role, just like Joey Beatty was born to play the role of Jaskier the Bard. The Witcher takes you across different timelines, flashbacks, and world-spanning cinematography. It's brutal, magical, packed with gory and action, everything dark fantasy should be. The Witcher is one of those rare shows that unapologetically stays true to its source material and does a fantastic job of it. Will Geralt find peace? Will Yennefer do as well? Who will protect and train Cirilla when magic oaths come calling and new and old enemies come seeking?
We're witches.
Is that so?
Number 5, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You're going to hell.
Save me a seat.
When a TV series is studied in colleges as an actual specialty, you know you've hit the jackpot of fantasy worlds. Based on the original movie of the same title, Sarah Michelle Gellar's Buffy is a slayer in a long, ancient line of women whose sole purpose is to slay vampires and anything else that goes bump in the night. There was nothing quite like this 1997 series when they pitted Buffy against the only vampire in the world who was cursed with a soul, Angel, and their tragic story. Then the only other vampire who wanted a soul in order to love Buffy. Buffy herself is a whirlwind of power, femininity, and iconic quotes. Together with her friends Willow, Xander, and the sometimes reluctant help of Cordelia, she faces evil and hellmouths, which their town, Sunnydale, is a beacon for.
Tomorrow night, Buffy will face the Master, and she will die.
Giles, I'm 16 years old. I don't want to die.
Number 4, Supernatural.
You don't want to know.
We got work to do.
Worlds were changed when the words "Dad's been on a hunting trip and he hasn't been home in a few days" were uttered, sending into the collective heaven, hell, and purgatory of TV series. Supernatural ran for 327 episodes and 15 seasons, bypassing the likes of other shows with cult followings such as The X-Files and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Here, brothers and monster hunters Dean and Sam Winchester unknowingly set off the end of the world, aka the Apocalypse, when they search for their missing father, John Winchester. Chaos ensues, with yellow-eyed demons, angels, one very special trenchcoat-wearing angel, crossroad demons, the Lucifer, more archangels, and ghosts, monsters, and eldritch terrors that are straight out of a horror movie. All of these shows are equal in terms of knee-jerking action and how they play with our hearts. Spoiler alert, but with how many times a main character in Supernatural, you're going to wish you didn't feel a thing.
All right.
Who's next?
Number 3, Penny Dreadful.
That sounds like a warning.
It's an invitation.
The picture of Dorian Gray, Frankenstein, Dracula, and more come together in a gothic setting right in Victorian London. Penny Dreadful, which literally means sensational, dime comic books, is a dark psychological thriller. At its head is Sir Malcolm, the worldly man whose daughter, Mina, goes missing thanks to the city's underground creatures. At the show's heart is clairvoyant Vanessa Ives, played by Eva Green, whose sensational performance deserves a red carpet of awards. Also helping them is American Ethan Chandler, whose job is to slay monsters and maybe enter a romance or two. Eternal darkness lurks around every piece of dialogue, which is literally poetry at times.
Vanessa. Help me.
Number 2, Stranger Things.
Guys, I really think we should turn back.
Did you guys hear that?
With a cast of literal children, few expected Stranger Things to be as brilliant as it turned out. But proverbial Stranger Things have happened. Around a basement table, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Will gather to embark on another Dungeons & Dragons campaign, seconds away from being hurtled into the Upside Down. When one of them goes missing, the group of friends and Winona Ryder, who deserves every award, rally to bring home their friend. Enter 11, a science experiment with unimaginable powers. This team isn't just looking for their friend, they're battling demogorgons, opaque government agencies and labs, literal monsters, ticking time clocks, and more. Stranger Things has a feature that, even 4 seasons later, hasn't been overused, throwing its characters into intertwined storylines but keeping them apart into the pinnacle moment of the season when tensions are at their highest.
No matter what happens, we have to stop him. Together.
Number 1, Game of Thrones.
I was born to rule the 7 kingdoms, and I will.
Unbowed, unbent, unbroken. Game of Thrones, of course, comes out on top of the all-time best fantasy series. Disclaimer disowning the last 2 seasons withstanding. Never before has a show been as powerful as the Thrall the dragon-owning Daenerys Targaryen, the incest-committing Lannisters, and the ever-fragmented Starks had on us. Set in the fictional but brutal Westeros, the Iron Throne for the Seven Kingdoms lights an ancient fire for several honorable houses. Game of Thrones broke the mold by absolutely annihilating any main character fans favored, featuring world-class level dialogue and mixing politics, sizzling romance, and heart-stopping action.
If anyone survives the war to come, we'll have Jon Snow to thank. You've got the North in you.
And those are the top 20 best dark fantasy series of all time. What did you think? Did we miss one of your favorites? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell below to be notified of new content. Thanks for watching.